So we back, man. Episode what?
7.
You know what it is, man. It's your boy C.O. McLean and
Your boy Melly Mel, Mel Marley, LL Cool Mel. You know, the AKAs is long, man. You heard? It's long. Come
I
on,
don't
man.
know about this Mel Marley shit, but it's okay. It's okay, bro.
we
It's
we
okay.
here, man. What up,
It's
man?
okay.
Episode 7, man.
Episode 7, we here, man. Shout out to my man AJ at college, man, with the what is, man. I
Oh
hit him
yeah.
up. I
Yeah,
was like,
Neff.
man, you got to get
Yeah,
on
Neff.
one of these episodes with us one day, man. He said he's
Yeah,
walking
yeah, yeah.
downtown Winston-Salem with his peoples, you know.
Yeah, he,
So shout out to
he's
AJ out there
fronting.
in
He's fronting,
Winston-Salem, you know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Shout out,
Well,
man. We
let's
we
get
we
right
jump
into
into
it,
it.
man.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna start it off. Your boy Shador Sanders dropped like crazy.
Shador,
What you think about that?
that's been the hottest topic in sports for the past couple of days since the draft. Um, and I've been reading into it and I've been listening a lot on what people have been saying. So there's a lot of mixed reviews with this whole Shador Sanders thing. A
Hmm.
ton of mixed reviews. We're gonna dive into it. So one of the main things that stuck out to me, and reading it and seeing what's going on, and the reasoning behind him dropping so low is it said he bombed the interviews. Like he came in there really shitting on the teams that he didn't want to be a part of, and going to the teams and giving the interviews, respectively to the teams that he wanted to be on. And that ultimately, from what I'm hearing, on top of a lot of other things, is what caused him to slip, because the teams and owners was like, you know what? We the one who cut the checks. You the athlete, but we gotta cut these checks. So we're gonna teach you a lesson and humble you, so to speak, and leave you there. And I think that really humbled him and to the team that he went to, because Deion Sanders had tweeted years ago that Cleveland was a place where quarterbacks die, right? And now full circle, look at the team Shador Sanders is on. And if you look, they didn't really look happy when they drafted him. They were sitting like this. It was no excitement. With the
Yeah.
180,000, 34,000 million pick,
Hmm.
the Cleveland Browns select Shador Sanders.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So, this man he has a lot to prove and overcome. That's my 2 cents. What do you think, Mel?
I mean,
What else,
it
Jero?
looked kind of, yeah, what up, boy? It looked kind of personal for him to drop so much because, I mean, we're basing something on interviews. I mean, it just, to me, like, I'm not gonna lie, I just kind of heard about him dropping. It just seemed a little personal, but my thing is, okay, you there. So now it's up to you now. So we'll see what happens with him.
And we want to add, right, because he's not a bad football player.
No.
He did lead the nation, I think, in completions at like 71, 72%. But it's interesting with that stat, if you saw on Instagram, it was it was a little back and forth between Cam Ward, who was obviously the #1 pick, and Shador. I guess they was on a practice field doing, drills.
Mhm.
And Cam Ward, it was talking about in respect to both of them and how they represented for their teams, or how they held their teams down. And Shador was like, Cam, you let your team down. And Cam was saying the opposite, the same thing to Shador. And he was like, yeah, you led the nation completions, but he's like, if I was out there throwing screen passes, I would lead the nation in completions too. I was throwing deep balls down there. You don't throw the ball down the field. So it's interesting when you look at that stat, you say, oh, okay, you led the nation completions, but majority of those was two-step drops, screens, nothing really down the field like that. So that was interesting to note between those two guys and their interaction. But Shador is a great talent, and I say great talent because at the end of the day, he got to go out there and show and prove that he belongs in the NFL, And interesting enough, he has a chance of being a starting quarterback, because we got Deshaun Watson, who probably is not going to play. You got Joe Flacco on there. That boy damn near 40. You got the guy Gabriel that they drafted, even though talent-wise, Shador is better than him. So these old guys are vying for the starting quarterback position. So, if Shador is who he says he is and who he feels he is, that he's this top tier quarterback, prove it. It's a chance to prove it.
Yeah. And the one thing I will add is you gotta stay ready because when your number is called, if he ain't ready, they're gonna be quick to get him out of here. So he just gotta
Yes.
just stay prepared, man.
Yes.
That's what it is. And then as far as the Eagles visit to the White House, I was out the country, so I didn't even know they went to the White House. So I'll
Mm.
let you take the floor with that.
Well, that was an interesting thing because they had Jalen Hurts. They interviewed him, and
Mhm.
the young lady had asked him, "Would you accept the invite to? Well, you guys been invited to the White House. Would you guys go?" He kind of shunned off the answer. He didn't really. He answered it indirectly, and then there was a video clip of Saquon Barkley getting off a private plane. I don't know if it was you or Air Force One or not, but he was getting off of the plane with President Trump. He was the only one. He was the only one. And this was before they
That's
actually went
stupid.
to the White House, but Jalen Hurts wasn't there. A few other Philadelphia players wasn't there. But Saquon took that private meeting or fly in with President Trump. So he got criticism for that. So I mean, that's the thing, right? If you are NBA champion, NFL, Super Bowl winning, team or anybody that wins in their respective field,
In the
obviously
major
you get
sports.
the
Yeah.
visit to the White House, and it's
Yeah.
your election to go or not. So a lot of people giving Trump stance, a lot of people are pro Trump, a lot of people are anti-Trump. So they're not obligated to go, but that was a thing. I think the thing that stuck out was Saquon Barkley going without the team.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Okay. And then
He said,
that
I don't know anything
also,
about that word.
yeah, Taz dumb. And then so basically that kind of segue to the NFL with the getting rid of the tush push.
Right.
Now, my 2 cents on that, I mean, it's almost like if you have an advantage or you got the personnel for something and people can't stop it, it's
Right.
like, let me take it as out the game, to balance it out. You don't have the personnel for it. I mean, so be it. Tush push, I don't feel like they should get rid of that. It's almost like telling a team with Shaq not to throw the ball in the paint.
Right.
You know,
Right.
or telling Steph Curry not to shoot threes
Right.
because you're so good at it. It's
Right.
like, nah, everything ain't for everybody. There
Right.
will be advantages and disadvantages. So it's
Mm-hmm.
your job to figure that out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So to eliminate it from the game, I'm not a fan of that.
Right. And you alluded to it the best, right? Personnel. The Eagles front line is huge, and if you got the personnel to do it, I don't see why you would be against it. It's just like saying like Allen, like how they did AI, right? AI was out there crossing everybody until he crossed Jordan. They said, "Oh, well, hold on
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
This
gotta
is a
get rid of that.
carry now."
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Once he hit Mike, hit him up style.
Uh-huh.
Oops.
this,
Yeah,
this is
get rid of
this
that.
is a carry now. So it's
Yeah,
like if you
yeah,
can't stop it, people going to try to figure out how to stop it outside of the lines of football, right? So they stop
yeah,
Allen Iverson crossover outside the lines of basketball by getting, the higher ups into it and saying that was a
yeah,
carry. So I
yeah,
just think
yeah,
that, listen, man, a lot of teams do it. It's not like the Eagles is the only team that does it, right? A
yeah.
lot of NFL
Josh
teams do it.
Allen do it too. The
Right, they
Bills.
do it too. They
Yep.
some people call it. I mean, it's really a quarterback sneak, right?
It was
That's what
yeah,
it. That's
yeah,
that's
yeah,
what it is.
yeah,
It's just that Philadelphia came up with their own name for it, right? So in lame, like how they say in layman's terms, it's a quarterback sweep. I mean,
sneak.
quarterback sneak. That's all it is.
Yeah,
That's all
yeah,
it is. If you got
yep,
these little 5'8" D linemen that can't do it, well, go ahead and draft and get some big fat dudes that's 300 pounds
yeah,
and 8 feet tall to do the tush push. All right,
yeah,
that's what you gotta do.
yep,
So
yep,
I don't
mm-hmm,
think they should get rid of it. If you
yep.
can't if you can't beat them, join them.
Yeah, right.
Get your weight up. Get your weight up. Shout out
Sign.
to the tush
Go
push.
ahead. Sign Cam Newton hat. So we off the NFL. I got this is a topic. I definitely it's personable to me. I feel, first of all, prayers with Dame Lillard. A very unfortunate incident with tearing the Achilles.
Uh-huh.
With me tearing my Achilles playing ball, I understand the process, and um, I mean, Damian Lillard, he could still come back and do his thing
Mm-hmm.
because of how he plays, but
Mm-hmm.
he's in his 30s, and that Achilles injury it takes away from you.
Yeah.
Um, and he's gonna be out. He's out for a year,
Yeah.
so we're not seeing Damian Lillard. We may not see him at all next year. I'm gonna say the playoffs, but we may not see him for the whole year,
Because they said the
including playoffs.
timeline for that is about 6 to 9 months. That's the
And that
timeline for Achilles.
and that's the thing, right? So everybody's body is different.
Right.
Um, and it depends on how he healed, how bad it is. But then it's a process. You gotta go through being on crutches and casts, then being in crutches and boot,
Mm-hmm.
then being in just a boot. Then it's like you gotta do physical therapy. You gotta do certain things. So it's like, yeah, you might be able to come back and be walking and stuff, but to be in intense play, it's like it's one of the things you gotta take with caution because overcompensate and make you tear the other one.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not something to take lightly. It's very
Mm-hmm.
unfortunate. It's always non-contact,
Mm-hmm.
and it just sucks that he came back from the whole blood clot thing and then to tear Achilles. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
very unfortunate. I feel bad for him,
Mm-hmm.
and whenever I see somebody get hurt that way, it always it strikes me because going through that process, and I mean, it's just like it takes a lot. The recovery is a lot, and you basically losing out on an entire year of your
Mm-hmm.
career. So from that
Mm-hmm.
standpoint, I feel bad, and I just wish him a speedy recovery, man.
Yeah. And what I want to say about this, when you look at it, right, a lot of these injuries, and I'm just thinking back to like guys that gets injured, right? So say, I'm trying to think of an example, but case in point, you got Damian Lillard that had the blood clots, right?
Yeah.
So the blood clots was in because he injured his right Achilles was in his right leg, right? I
To be
think
honest, I don't even know if it was the same leg that they found the blood clot in or not.
that it
I ain't
wasn't.
gonna lie. It
It
wasn't. It
wasn't
was
the
another
same
one. Oh,
leg.
okay.
So I
Okay.
think, let
Damn
me
it.
see. I think it was his. Let me look it up. Let me see what leg he injured.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Um, and I say this because okay, he injured his left leg, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
the blood clots was in his right leg, right? So
Okay.
he had to obviously go to, rehabilitation, go through that because I had blood clots. So you got to go through
Yeah.
blood thinners.
I remember that. I remember that. That
You
was rough.
gotta, relax yourself and you're an athlete, you still gotta do the things, right? So when you get these injuries, when you focus on one part of an injury, right, one part of the body, like you had said before, you have to compensate the other parts of the body in order to heal that part of the body, right? So when you got Damian Lillard who rushed back, and this is a lot of times these athletes try to rush back because they are forced by media or outside sources to say, "Hey, man, we paying you all this money. You got to get back on this floor, to help your team." Because that was one part of the MOs. Yo, Dame Lillard, he was valiant in getting back on the floor for his team. But now look what happened. He injures the opposite leg off a non-contact. Non-contact.
Achilles is always
He
on contact. Like when
right.
Durant came back to the finals
Uh-huh.
to try to save the Warriors,
Uh-huh.
once he went down, I said, "Yep, that's Achilles."
But then you see the Achilles, right? What Durant had injured, what he had injured something. I think he injured
They, but that I feel like they were misleading the public. I feel like they knew it was something with Achilles the whole time because
it
they kept
was
saying calf. They
calf.
kept
Yep.
promoting it as calf,
Yep.
and I'm like, but to the extent it was like, yo. And
Right.
at that point, I already tore mine, and I'm like, yeah, I'm like, when I seen, it, I'm like, that sound like something like, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I was like, yeah, nah.
And then
So,
but see, even that, just say hypothetically speaking, it was the calf, right?
yeah,
And they was trying to mask it for the Achilles.
yeah.
But that's just one part of the body that you're trying to focus on, and you're not focusing on the other part of your bodies. This is why even though I despise LeBron sometimes, but I applaud him because of the way he works on his entire body. every nook and cranny of his body. LeBron is 40 years old, still playing like he's in his mid-30s. I ain't gonna say 20s. Still playing sometimes like he in his mid-30s because he's 40. But he
Yeah.
focuses on every aspect of the body. And even Kobe had alluded to it, when you injure yourself, how you attack rehab. So I
Mm-hmm.
just think that these NBA players, a lot of time, for one, they rush to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And two, they don't a lot of times focus on every aspect of their body. I think if they was to do that and take their body seriously, you wouldn't have these type of injuries. Because there's a lot of players that play up and down. Although LeBron that never had an Achilles injury, right? And
Yeah.
LeBron goes up and down,
Mm-hmm.
because of the way he trains his body. Not to say Dame doesn't do that at all, but just these type of injuries and how they happen when they focus on one part of the body and they forget about the other part of the body. And then once they get in the court, because they feel like they either rush back or they ready, they didn't focus on the other part of the body and bam, you
Yeah.
know? So
Yeah.
man, prayers up to Damian Lillard, man, because I know he really wanted to get into Halliburton's Paul's
Yeah.
ass.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
wanted
Yeah.
that.
Because Alabama was talking junk.
Halliburton
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
talking
Yeah.
shit. And
Yeah.
Halliburton was on record saying that he admired Dame. He wore zero because of Dame. And they was all right. Now Damian Lillard
Yeah.
wanted his
Yeah.
lick back.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I, I
Yeah.
I know that hurts him more than anything. Like fuck. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And Halliburton, feel like Halliburton got a one up on him, especially now that he's injured, and they're
Yeah.
they're going to take out the Milwaukee Bucks not coming back from 3-1.
No.
But yeah,
No.
man. Shout out
Yeah.
to Dan Lillard, man. Hope speedy
Yeah.
recovery, man. Prayers up, man.
Yeah.
Get back
And
and
I.
get your lick
Yeah.
back.
And I kind of segue into the whole Giannis trade rumors. I mean, honestly, I think it could go either way because he already got the chip there. And honestly, at this point, if Giannis did want to leave, I don't see no issue, man. He already mission accomplished. I mean, you know, what can you say, man?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you got y'all the chip. He stayed loyal to y'all. Y'all got the chip. I mean, that is what it is.
Right.
At this stage, you don't owe Milwaukee anything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, look, he NBA champion, Finals MVP,
Yeah.
two-time NBA MVP,
Defensive
8 All
player of the
selection,
year.
5 All defensive selection, 3 All NBA All-Star,
Yeah.
All-Star starters. Wait, 3-time NBA All-Star starter. Bucks all-time leading triple doubles with 14. Like, I mean, he's one probably top 2. Great. What's up, Alea? How you doing, Moomin? My daughter, Alea. What's up, Moomin?
Lele, what's up?
Arguably the top 3 center. I mean, power forward ever played the game. So,
Yeah.
he got his just due, right? And
Yeah.
I think Milwaukee, as a franchise, did things to try to get him help.
Yeah, they definitely did. They
They
definitely
definitely
did.
did.
Definitely
To
did.
try to. It's just injuries, man. Injuries just plagued Milwaukee, and they couldn't get back to that ceiling. With Middleton being hurt after that championship run, he couldn't really get back to his form. Then so they
Yeah.
just like, all right, we got to get some. We got to. But listen, man, the bum of the year of the century, Kyle Kuzma. What are you doing, bro? You out here going donut over in games, bro. You supposed to be the Middleton. If you can't give me 12 points, what are you paying you for, bro? Like, yo.
He dropped. Hey, yo, you know what happened? He was on the Lakers, right? They won the chip. Then he went to the Wizards, was looking like an all-star. Now he back to a winning situation, and he dropping the ball. What's good with him?
Bro, I saw a stat from Kyle Kuzma.
Mm-hmm.
That shit was 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Like, bro, there's no way you are an NBA player to that caliber, NBA champion at that.
Mm-hmm.
You can't score a free throw. You can't go up, get fouled. All right, go to the free throw line and get one. Bro, there's no way you should have zero points as an NBA player unless you just riding the pine. And there's no way in hell. No way. What say that, Tony Snell? Word.
Yeah,
no way.
Man.
No way.
Yeah.
Kyle Kuzma, bro, you are the donkey or the doo-doo bird of the century, Kyle Kuzma.
Yeah.
Get him out of
Yeah,
here, you
it's
fucking bum.
it's clip form, and I mean, so that kind of so we agree that the pace is going to take out the Bucks. All right, we know that, right? I think it's over in 5. If we could talk about, I mean, the Knicks, Pistons. Let me say this, right? Everybody, everybody, stop crying. All y'all Pistons fans, stop crying. All right, because all right, Tim Hardaway got the little foul. Like the thing about it though, Josh Hart. It's like he jumped into him a little bit. And it's like, you know, he got the contact, but the thing about it, that's what he was trying to do. Like, he didn't even try to make the shot. Like, it was, I hate those fouls. And then the Pistons want to always be so physical and thug everybody out. Now y'all crying.
Right.
Because they be beat. Yo, Josh Hart got fouled before that play even happened on the rebound. And so it's like, it was so much going on. They want to cry. Next, and Jalen Brunson came back, injury, cooked. Karl Anthony Towns showed up. I mean, it's a gritty series. It was the same way with Philly, though. There was some calls that could have went this way, that way. It's like 1 minute you want people to play, the next minute, this call. It's going to be controversial calls. I just think that the way Detroit play, you got to hold it down, man. Y'all can't be out here crying like.
First of all, I want to say this about Karl Anthony Towns. He's one of the most doofiest centers in the league, but he gets buckets. Like, if you see the way he play mad doofy. You be like, bro, like sometimes the way he shoot and the shots he take, you be like, what you doofy ass doing?
I ain't gonna lie. That 3-pointer, when he took that, I was like, yo, what the? And it was in cap, like, oh.
He just said,
I was like, oh, like it was, yo, he got bumped and he went back and then he just said, I'm pulling it. I was like, what the is he doing? Then when it went in on net, I said, oh, I was watching that one live.
Out there taking MJ fadeaways behind backboard shots.
That fadeaway was tough though. I was like, I ain't gonna lie. Before it went in, I was like, yo, what is he doing? I'm like, oh, like I did that a couple times. I was like, yo, what the? But it went in. I'm like, yo, all right.
Like I say, he's one of the doofiest good players out there, yo. Like, the stuff that he does, I'm like, yo, this goofball. Oh, shit, he made it.
Yeah. He did that a couple times. But I ain't gonna lie, though. No, you go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I will say to the point with the Josh Hart and Tim Hardaway, to me, it could go both ways. I know the NBA came out in a 2-minute press and said
I hate that. Yeah,
that's stupid. You know, it's after the fact, bro. Like, okay, what are you gonna do? You're gonna rescind it? You're gonna let him come back? Like, come on, you shouldn't even do that. That's stupid. But it could go either way. Was it a foul? You can call it a foul because you did impede the jump shooter's progress or alter the shot a little bit because of the bump. Or Tim Hardaway, when he did the head fake, and they always say, you know, when you get the person in the air, that's it. Don't leave your feet. Yeah. So he did the job of getting Josh Hart in the air and going up into his body, which he did that on his own. He, you know, lunged into his body to try to alter the shot. Yeah. So it could go both ways. You know, they could have called it a foul, and they could have let the play go on. So in that instance, they let the play go on, but they released that 2-minute rule shit and said that it was a foul. But nevertheless, it was a non-call, and you know the Knicks won. Yeah, and the Knicks won. But before that shot, Cade Cunningham, you got to make that shot, bro. You got to make that shot. This is what they're paying you. You right there, lucky lefty. You missed the shot. You know, this is where the great players ascend into superstars and times like that, right? When you got that shot, you had that shot, you had the matchup, you got it. You was in the paint, you missed it, bro. You missed it. So if you'd have made it, Detroit would have won that game. You missed it. Rebound, Tim Hardaway, controversy call, they missed, boom, they out of there. You know, so I mean, I had Detroit. If you go back to that, did I pick Detroit winning?
You did, because you picked the Knicks.
Yeah. I picked Detroit winning this series. I was like, Cade Cunningham go do his thing. Cade Cunningham, I mean, he let me down a little bit, and, the Knicks going to get him out of here. But I do want to shout out a player they still in it. What's the guy name from Orlando?
Pop Apollo.
Woo!
Yeah, he
That boy
nice.
been giving Celtics 30 pieces. I know
Yeah, yeah.
Celtics get
They
him out of
down
there.
3-1 right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
3-1.
yeah,
But
nah.
that boy
Salute
giving
to him.
them
Yeah,
30 pieces out there. So shout out to Paulo. That boy
yeah,
nasty in Orlando.
yeah.
Yeah, he
And
nasty.
and the Clippers and the Nuggets, man. That alley oop. I remember I was in here watching it, and I ain't gonna lie, it was so close to like you can't overturn that. But it's like the thing about it, you gotta box out, man.
Got to box
You
out.
gotta box out.
And that
So I'm happy that they didn't overturn it in essence, because it was close, but nah, you can't overturn that. That
and
was a good game.
that was a failed scouting report, right? Because Aaron Gordon has been known from time to time to get those kind of plays off those misses. Like
Yeah,
like you said, you got to box. Aaron Gordon is notoriously known for that, right?
yeah,
Even though that was not a pass, but this is
yeah,
something that they work on, right?
yeah,
On those last minute situations, you go in, you throw it up. Aaron Gordon get to a certain spot to get there to do what he do, right? So even though it wasn't a play, but this is something that they work on. And like you said, bro, you gotta box out, especially
gotta box
Aaron
out.
Gordon, who's known for getting those putbacks like that.
Yep.
That was extremely close. Like if you
Yeah,
look at the replay in
yeah.
slow mo, like
I was watching that game. I'm like, yeah, this is woo. Yeah, that was a goodie though. That was a goodie. That was a
I
goodie.
listen. I who
I still
like
got
I
Clippers
got
though.
Clippers going to the finals. I got them going to the finals. And this is just going to be the test for them, right? Because you get past Denver. Denver really has the only big man in the whole entire NBA that nobody can guard. So if
Yeah, yeah.
Clippers can get by that, Zubac is going to be the Jokic of this playoffs. Because who's going to
Okay,
stop Zubac?
okay. Okay. I
Who
like
gonna
that.
stop
I
that
like
man?
that. If they get
You
past it, if they get past them,
if
yeah.
they,
I
get
like
past
it.
Denver, Clippers got the roll. I'm not gonna lie. Thunder did what they had to do. I was very proud of them getting the sweep. They
Yeah,
had to sweep them because if if Grizzlies would have got two, if we went to six, people really would have been like, this Thunder team is not it. Although Ja Morant got injured,
yeah,
but Thunder was still handing their asses to them paws.
yeah,
So Thunder
yeah,
got them out of there. They swept them. So that was big for Thunder confidence for the naysayers that saying that this team is not ready. That was real good for them
yeah,
to get them out of here.
yeah.
But they play who they play the second round. They play the
To be
winner.
determined, because they're the first seed, so they're gonna play the winner
The,
of
the
the Clippers.
oh yeah, the winner of the Clippers. Them Thunder play the Clippers, boy. They out of here. They out. I'm sorry, like they out of
Yeah,
here. Cause I got
yeah.
Clippers winning the chip.
Okay.
I had Clippers. I had Clippers, and we will go into it. LA. I had those two. It's over for
In
Lakers,
LA,
bro.
like Shannon in trouble, but I mean, hey, Lakers get about to lose in 5.
Lakers about to lose in five.
Word, word. They out
Lakers
of
about to
there.
lose in five. And let me tell you this, man. I'm gonna get back onto the LeBron train, right?
Okay,
And
okay.
throughout his career, we look at him. He has a lot of moments where he hit the last second shot. So I'm not going to say that he 100% shy away from the moment because LeBron against Indiana with that last second shot
Yeah,
against
yeah, yeah.
who was it? Chicago hit that
Yep.
the
3.
yeah. So we know LeBron could do what he do,
Mhm.
but it's just like in some of the most, I would say, unseen moments is where he don't come through. And this is where, that clutch gene come into play. Because we know at any given moment, Kobe's going to take that last shot. Mike gonna take that last shot. If Mike is getting double teamed, he pass it off to Kerr. If Kobe getting double teamed, pass it off to Fisher, right? So, but we know at that particular moment, Kobe, Mike, even Durant, when he was even on Golden State, Durant was getting that final shot because that's who Durant is. And when you look at that last game where they was bringing the ball up, I think it was Luka Doncic. And throughout the game, Braun was kind of like, because he had no points in the fourth quarter, none. I think he
Okay.
took like 2 shots in the fourth quarter, right? That's if you're the greatest player of all time, there's no way you go into a fourth quarter of a do or die game and take 2 shots and have no points in the fourth quarter. That's neither here nor there. LeBron has this on his resume, a couple of those.
Yeah.
But you found a way to get that last shot. You found a way to get down in the paint, get open, get the last shot. He got the ball, and even though it was the right play in a lot of people's eyes when he passed it to the corner to Caruso because he had a better shot than Braun, but you Braun, bro. You are the self-proclaimed GOAT, bro. You got to find a way to get that last shot. And this is all I got to say about that is because I think LeBron and certain, like I said, certain unseen moments is not that player, right? Because we all know again what Kobe gonna give you, what Mike gonna give you, what Durant even gonna give you, even what Kyrie will give you. You know, when he hit that last shot and the Warriors to win the game. LeBron just that's what irks me a lot about this man is that he kind of defers to other people, and then when things go good, then he want to take the credit for it, you know. So I just think that all that goes into the GOAT debate. This game, right? That game went into the GOAT debate because there's no way you score no points in the fourth quarter. Yeah, Ant-Man.
Yeah. So I mean, it's funny. So you said you got the Clippers and who you got them playing against in the Eastern, as far as the finals.
Bruh. Remember who I said? Who I said in the East?
I don't remember who you
The
said.
Cavs.
Oh yeah, I like the Cavs.
The Cavs
That was
out
my
here
pick for the East too.
smacking teams by 50. Bro,
Yeah,
they
I got.
mop. They
Yeah,
mop Miami.
I
I think the win margin was like 30 in that series, bro. They
yeah,
killed
I
Miami.
got the Cavaliers getting there too, for
I got the
sure. I like
Cavs,
the
bro.
Cavs. So you
I
got Cavs and Clippers.
Cavs and
Um,
Clippers, man.
I got the Cavs for sure in the East. In the West right now, um, I'm going to have to. Mm, the West is tough, man, but I'm gonna just wild horse because the Lakers about to get up out of here. Clippers is tight right now. Because I ain't gonna lie, if the Clippers could get past Denver, I like them. I do
Uh-huh.
like them if they get past Denver. If the Clippers don't, though, might be looking at Denver getting back. Because Joker, he just does too much. It's
You
like you can't really do nothing with
can't.
him. Like, you know what I mean? So that's how I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah. I think honestly the winner of the Clippers, I still got the Clippers going, but if Denver finds a way to beat Clippers, yeah, because who is nobody to match with Jokic, yo?
Nobody.
Jokic and
Nobody.
and look what Jokic is doing to a person that's his height and
Yeah.
almost I won't say his skill set, but Zubac goes out there, he goes in the post, he does his thing too, but Jokic is
Yeah.
just different, bro.
Yeah.
And
For sure.
you get out of that, there's no matchup for Jokic. Nobody can match up with him. That's why Lakers was able to beat him, even though Jokic was on the sin, but they had Howard, they had McGee,
Exactly.
they had
They had the
Davis.
bodies.
They had
They
the
had three
bodies.
bodies to throw at him. Yeah.
Three,
Yeah. Three
three,
bodies to
three
throw at him.
big athletic bodies to throw because all 3 of those guys was athletic as hell.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I'm just like, yo, who is going to guard Joker in the finals, whoever at the East? The only team that got the height for them will probably be the Cavs because they got Jared
Yeah.
Allen
They got
and they got
bodies. They got
Porzingis.
different bodies.
Yeah, different bodies, but the Thunder got no bodies from Chet Holmgren. He's too small. He's He's tall, but he's too small. Jokic, he's like a pencil down there. So it's
Yeah.
like I don't see who will and definitely not the Warriors. Definitely not the Warriors. The Warriors ain't got no height.
Yeah.
I mean, they got Looney over there still, but
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
they. Wait, hold on. Did he just pee? Oh my God, the dog just pee. Listen, guys, we got this goddamn puppy. This motherfucker just peeing like he just pissing out water. Just took the mother lover out the cage and he goddamn peed. What?
Sheesh.
God damn it. Goddamn lucky. But yeah, man. Huh? A lot? Oh my goodness
Yeah.
gracious. The dog is over here peeing, bro. God damn it. Dog, God damn. Got a dog named Lucky. Shout to Lucky about these peeing. But yeah, man. I just don't see nobody beating the Clippers or the Denver Nuggets because you got MVP Jokic over there. The Thunder. We'll see about that. But my two picks out the for the finals is Cavs and Clippers. That's my two
Yeah.
picks.
I like that. So what about the what ifs?
Well, we got the last one, the All-Star game. They thinking about
Oh,
changing the All-Star game format.
well, yeah, I didn't hear about that. So yeah, I'll take the floor with
Yeah, they
that.
was talking about changing it from how they got the format to and to the All Stars versus the world. That's what they talking about. Let me go here.
Okay.
Um
Okay. I mean, they've been talking about that for a while. Okay.
yeah, so this was just referenced on the 29th. So they said the NBA is considering changing the format of the 2026 All-Star game in Los Angeles to an international competition. So that's what they are. That's what they mulling on.
Okay.
That would be interesting. I think a lot of people was talking about that and how they can make the All Star game more competitive. I think they changed. I think they done did everything they could possibly do, right? Offer them the winner more money, or went back to the old format, or doing a draft, or they
Yeah.
tried different things to make it more competitive. But yet it's still, the same thing, right? And I think it starts with the players. The players gotta want to be competitive in order for the game to be competitive. And I think they missed out on a very, very important time era with the All-Star game when and one was popping. The NBA should have somehow, some way incorporated and one into the All-Star festivities because and one was on
Yeah.
fire.
Yeah. At a point in time. Yeah.
Fire. Just imagine an all-star game with NBA All-Stars versus and one All-Stars.
I mean, and one also they're gonna get cooked, but
You think they would get cooked?
now we're not doing they hot sauce. Who is he guarding? Man,
Huh?
that man hot sauce can't even guard nobody there. Hey, he gonna guard Marbury, Iverson. He's no, he's getting cooked.
Is it about okay? Is it about guarding, right? Because if we're looking at these NBA players, ain't none of them guarding each other in these All-Star games,
I mean,
right? They putting up
now,
200.
but when and one was popping, that's when the Kobe's and T Max was still like I'm
Right,
talking about literal time, like when it
right.
was popping. That's what I'm going off of.
But we talking about competitiveness or we talking about
That
entertainment,
see,
right? I'm
yeah,
talking because the All-Star game hasn't been competitive since the last one was when Kobe was in it, right? Because Kobe is just a
okay,
competitive
okay,
guy, right? So
okay,
if you look at it on that standpoint, all the other 80 whatever All-Star games were entertainment based.
yeah,
So and you keep it entertainment based, you got the NBA All-Stars versus the
uh-huh.
and one All-Stars. That will be entertaining as fuck because
Nah,
you're
no,
gonna
no,
have Kobe out
what
there.
it,
You gonna be
bro?
have Kobe out there wanting to do and one type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
You
nah,
yo, I'm telling you,
nah,
bro, that
nah,
that would have been
nah. It's
entertaining
it's
as
a
fuck.
different like some people in and one was nice. Some people they actually have a basketball pedigree. Like I'm using houses. That's one of their main attractions. And the thing about it, when you watch it on TV, it look a certain way. they might give Hot Sauce a little sequence, but Hot Sauce had no defense. He wasn't this. I remember he went to Wingate Park and played people in the park and was getting cooked by dudes in the park. Like, it's like, we talking about, like, okay, it's entertaining to see them do the little tricks and stuff, but with Kobe Bryant and T-Mac, that's not no comp. Come on. Iverson, T-Mac, all these all-stars, when it was a thing. Like, I understand how it is now. It might have been like, but it's like the gap in skill level and the caliber of players is too wide. It's too wide. Nah. It's too
Again,
wide.
I'm just talking based off of entertainment purposes.
That's not entertaining, because if they really put the clamps in, like, and really, like, certain stuff, I mean, that's, yeah, I don't agree with that.
Was the high and one, if you look at the documentary, they were competing with the NBA as far as sales and merchandises and shit. And one was that shit. They had.
You gotta think about it, right?
Huh?
Think about it. Think about it, right? Let's use this jersey. Say this jersey is $300, right? An N1 t-shirt is $20. So they're gonna sell. If you compare it item for item, yeah, they moving more units because this shit is cheaper.
That's
t-shirt
true.
shorts. So it's like an NBA shorts is $150. So an N1 short is $30. So if you move 5-to-1, the ratio, you're gonna move more units. Even with sneakers, sneakers cost less. So that's why I look like they're competing, because of the numbers they moving and they making money. Yes, but let's be serious. And one was active. It wasn't competing directly with the NBA. And one operated in the summertime when the NBA was out. So they're not competing with NBA. It's not like it's on from October to June. No, it's like there's no NBA. So if you still want to see basketball, all right, and one is on for the summer. Then it's over. So that's why I'm like, they wasn't, as far as selling stuff, yeah, merchandise, yeah, but they wasn't competitors to the NBA. They didn't even play at the same time. They're not competing.
But and my 2 cents on it is, if you're an entity, right? Let's say, for instance, let's put this for instance. You got the UFL and the NFL, right? So they play outside of the NFL, right? But that's a competitor because they're in the same level of field, right? Football, right? But you don't hear nothing about the UFL. You don't hear nothing about sales. You don't hear nothing about nothing because they don't have that hype, right? So nobody's talking about them, right? So they was even saying Shedeur Sanders should have went to the UFL because that would have brought the hype to them. You know, jersey sales would have spiked up, and then people would have been like looking towards that instead of like, I'm not looking at the NFL. So that's the context I'm coming from. I'm coming from, if they were just an entity that was just doing a thing and nobody was looking at, nobody would be looking at them. Nobody would look at them for sales. Oh, that's cute. But because they were so hot and they was doing these tours, and even NBA players was coming to watch the games. They had high-end rappers coming to watch they had such a force. NBA should have capitalized off of that and did a, and maybe it couldn't have been an all-star game. Just incorporate and one into the NBA somehow, some way, to make it make sense at that current time, because they were so hot. That's what I'm saying in terms of that. Because again, the UFL ain't doing shit.
I understand what you're saying, you know? But the gap in skill level is not realistic, bro. That's what I'm trying to really tell you.
It would have been entertaining to watch.
No.
You know, Opa's going to clip this up. He's going to clip this. So
it wouldn't have been entertaining because
in here.
Yeah, because think about it.
What would be more entertaining? An NBA All-Star game with just the NBA All-Stars as it is, or at the height of and one All-Stars versus NBA All-Stars? Which one would be more entertaining? And I know Opus is going to clip that up.
I mean, yeah, you can clip it up, but that would have been a damn blowout. That would have been no sin. I mean, come on, man. And you got to think about it. The N1 players anyway. But the N1 players, I'm not like shitting on them because I love the N1 watching and stuff. But just the gap though, because it got some of them that could really put. But I use Hot Sauce. He's a main attraction and it's not on that level.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's just a prime example. it's like, nah, it wouldn't have been like what you thought. Like, I'm being real.
I'm just,
Like, nah.
I think, okay, I think what you think about it, you thinking that it's going to be some type of competitive thing and they will get blown out by, say, 50, 60 points or something like that, right? So I think that's where you're coming from because you're saying the skill level. I'm not talking about the skill level. I'm talking about the entertainment value. Just imagine Kobe Bryant playing D on hot sauce, and hot sauce hit this nigga Kobe with a fucking move. You don't think the whole crowd be like, oh shit, right? And then Kobe gonna come down and what Kobe gonna do? Kobe gonna do what he do. That's entertaining. You got the helicopter coming out there doing a crazy 380 fucking dunk that the NBA players ain't doing. They go, oh shit! Then what you gonna have? Vince Carter come down do his thing. That's
Helicopter and a
entertaining.
dunk con, that would be in the helicopter with the dunk con, that would be entertaining. But the actual game, no. Like, you're bugging right now. You're
I'm
bugging.
just think I just know that would have been an
Nah, you
entertaining
putting too much
ass game.
stock in nah. I don't agree
We
with that.
we're
And I
gonna
stand
agree
with
to
that. I
disagree.
agree with that.
We're
Yeah,
gonna,
we agree to
Open's
disagree.
gonna clip it up, and we're gonna see what the comments say.
All right. All right, so then get into the what ifs then.
What if? Shout out to my son, your nephew,
Yeah.
AJ, and what ifs, man. Shout out to AJ in Winston-Salem out there doing his thing, a scholar student. You know, your uncle and your father proud of you out there doing your thing.
Yeah,
We
man.
got to
Hold
get
it
him on.
down.
We
Gotta
got
get
to
him
get
on.
him on
Gotta get
one
him on.
time, bro.
Yeah, Neff, man.
Like, I
You
tried to
know,
get him on today.
come chill with your uncle, man. Stop. Come on, man.
And he watches it too. I'm like, yo, AJ, man, like you gotta come on and do your segment one. He gonna come on one time. Every time
Yeah.
he talking, he
Get
got
him on
something
here,
to
man.
do, man.
And chill with your uncle, man. Stop playing, man.
Yeah, come chill with the old heads. Chill with Unc.
Yeah, man. Stop playing, man.
Chill with Unc. All right, so AJ's what if. So the first what if, this is a good one. What if Drew Bledsoe didn't get hurt in 2000?
We wouldn't have seen Tom Brady as soon as we did.
Now we all know in 2000, Tom Drew Bledsoe had a horrific injury. He had to get like blood transfusions
Yeah.
through his chest and
It
all
was
that
it
shit
was
was
crazy.
bad. So exit Drew Bledsoe, insert Tom Brady, and Tom Brady and I think they actually won the Super Bowl that year. Didn't they win the Super Bowl that year?
I think
Th-
I
that was
yeah,
their first
I
Super
think so.
Bowl when
Yeah.
Drew Bledsoe came out and Tom Brady came in.
Yeah.
Hey, so we looked. It's a great what if because what if Drew Bledsoe stayed? Would the Patriots have won the Super Bowl then that same year? If Tom Brady doesn't come in, right?
Yeah.
So these are things to note in that what if because we all know Tom Brady went on to become the GOAT, the undisputed GOAT.
Yeah.
There is nobody near him
Yeah.
as terms of who is the greatest. Uh, and you know what? It's crazy, right? Because football is a game of many positions, so is basketball. So I can't sit here and say Tom Brady is the greatest football player to ever play the game, right? So that's a good question, right? Who is the greatest football player to ever play the game? Because Tom Brady, even though he's a football player, but he only played that quarterback position, right? So he's the greatest quarterback to ever play the game. But overall, who is the greatest football player to ever play the game? That's a good question.
Yeah, that's something for another day. Cause you gotta really sit and think about it.
You got to think about that. But Opus going to clip that up too. So that's why I say stuff like that because Opus clips it up. But yeah, that's so, Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback to ever play the game. Obviously, in 2000, we wouldn't see Tom Brady go on to win the Super Bowl and then obviously win 6 other Super Bowls after that. Or maybe not. We don't never know how somebody's history is going to be written until
Yeah.
till it starts the book, right? So that was just the starting of the book for Tom Brady. But Drew Bledsoe, people forget Drew Bledsoe was a bad man.
Yeah, nah, he
He
was, yeah, for sure. For sure. For
Drew
sure.
Bledsoe was a bad man, and his
All right,
what's his
listen,
stats
listen,
here?
listen. Don't start overhyping it. He was good. All right, we're not. Oh, he was.
I'm not gonna
He was good.
say he was like a superstar. I'm just saying,
Yeah, like
he had a passer
he was
rating of 77.3. That's pretty good.
passer
And
rating.
this was
Passer
in the
rating. That's
this is
bad.
no, this was in just 2000. In 2000, the previous year before, no, the year that in question, he had a passer rating 77.3. That's not that bad.